Hello and welcome to our third round lead card coverage from the 2018 United States Disc Golf Championship here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. BigSexy commentary back with you again, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
And round two, we saw more of the same with Paul McBeth shooting a 12 down, one bogey on the card so far through 36 holes. James Conrad is a couple behind, but I mean,
yeah,
it just, if Paul continues playing the way he's been playing so far, he's going to be chasing the ghost for the rest of this tournament. So, but we're only halfway through. Still a lot of golf to be played, of course, but when the course is broken down to be made to look as simple as it's been so far, it's just so difficult.
Well, I don't think anyone's ever gotten through without any incident, so we'll see what Paul has for us. Obviously sitting in a great spot. Hole 1, you probably saw it yesterday. It's in the B position, 255 feet. Forehand flex being really the only line.
Yeah, I can't even really imagine going straight and skipping into a spot that you'd really like to be at, but I've seen some people try to go for that shot.
Paul's got his Firebird.
That's looking really nice. If that can sit down, and that's the difficulty of this hole. I feel like you have to throw a driver, and then that going long comes into play a lot.
Yeah.
Representing Virginia, James Conrad.
And you know if James is throwing a sidearm on the hole, it's the only shot.
Yep. There goes James and that 20th percentile forehand he's got. Obviously, self-admittedly, not a strong suit for him. That wasn't terrible, but he's going to have a tricky little upshot from there. Need a little more anhyzer on the disc.
Paul Ulibarri, a player who has traditionally played incredibly well at this event, finished top 10 almost every time he's ever been to this event. This is his 12th USDGC, first ever appearance on the lead card.
I can hardly believe that.
It seems unreal because he's always up there in the mix. Finished in the top 4 before, but never done it from the lead card. And that is uncharacteristic for Paul. He's been going sidearm on this route for years, even when the basket was in the straight position. So you'd expect a little bit more.
2017 United States Champion Nate Sexton.
He was self-admittedly a little bit nervous. He told me after the round, it's the first time I've been incredibly nervous going into the first hole.
Sure. I'm going with the Firebird.
Just needs to sit. A little bit of a skip on the hill, but an uphill 30-footer. Now, when you're standing on that tee and they announce 2017 United States Champion, does it make your heart flutter a little bit more than anywhere else?
Yeah, sure, but in a good way.
Yeah, right. In like a...
I never feel tougher. I never feel more like a tough guy. Then right after they say that, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't buy it. I feel like you do feel like a tough guy when they say that.
No, I do. That's what I'm saying. Never more.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
From outside the circle.
That's not fair.
Another birdie. And Paul told me right before this round, he said, I'm not going to come too close to you because I'm pretty sick. So
okay,
he's fighting in a cold, a pretty serious cold.
Okay. Oh, just off the left side. Good height.
Yeah, I kind of thought it might stick, but not quite. Fortunately, no roll away.
And James able to convert on the par. Yesterday, this hole gave him, started off with a bogey. And Paul grabbed that front rim. Oh, you touched it. Looks like you're going to be getting sick, mate.
Feel okay so far.
Okay, good.
Hole 2, par 4, 629 feet up the middle with the low ceiling right here where the drone is now. Low backhand, low forehand or roller, all available plays. You just like to get up here, perhaps move a little bit right of center and set up a shot up to the green. There is a hazard area on the right, OB parking lot on the left, and then you've got the 5 pillars right here that make putting from the right side much more difficult than it would otherwise be.
Yeah, it just forces the player to that left side, which is the tight side being along the road. So it's a really difficult approach if you don't get a great drive off. And all week we've seen Paul navigate this fairway just wonderfully, and this one is
Wow. Yeah, perfect
especially
Thunderbird.
good. Yeah. Actually, yesterday he did hit the low ceiling, but was still out. Had to go for the layup, play for the par 3 or par 4, but today he's in that perfect position. He should be attacking the pin.
This is pretty high for James.
Usually really skilled at these low ceiling driver shots with destroyers, but that definitely got a little bit too much nose up angle, and he's going to have a long second shot.
Paul may be a little too low. Similar spot to James.
And this is a really nice roller line. You don't have to throw the roller too hard in this hole to get all this distance. It's just a matter of making sure that you control it to make sure it doesn't go too far right, and that's in a really nice, that's the straight line shot, so you'll have a little bit lower ceiling.
Yeah, that one actually got a little more right than I wanted, but luckily no hazard, and yet everywhere over there is pretty good. And James is heading for this tree, and it just, you couldn't see it that well, but it kisses off that tree and redirects.
Wow.
I was worried if it catches the tree a little thicker, it goes straight OB.
Correct, yeah.
But he just kissed off it. He was going to hit the fence probably and have a putt, definitely a putt, but that tree gave him a nice little bounce right to the basket.
And Paul having to play the safe shot off to the right. That's going to be a really tricky, long 55-foot putt.
Paul with the Nova. Well done.
Have one mozzarella stick in the way. Nice wide trusting shot there coming into the green with a tricky putt, but within 18 feet, so well done. Oh, Paul trying to bushwhack that one in from 55, but
Good effort.
just getting through the pillars that's enough right there to be happy. Good run.
James had the post right in the middle.
Oh,
Straddles out wide and makes a great Anheuser putt.
he made a killer putt yesterday in this hole. These pillars are not wide enough to get in James' way. Ample number of disc flips ready to go.
See if it was the right number, and it was. Beautiful. Happy to have that one. Those pillars, it's kind of, luck of the draw. If you can be really in a bad spot, or it can be almost nothing.
Sure, I mean, in one spot might be great for you and might be terrible for someone else, just because you might like the Anheuser putt or the Heiser putt better. And
Yeah, or between a lefty and a righty. Paul in as well.
two down through two.
Uli has this short tap for his par. Hole 3, par 3, 389 going downhill. Hazard rules, and the green is wrapped entirely with hazard. So if you go a little right long, straight long, left long, short left, all of that is going to be hazard area. You're going to play where you lie with a one-stroke penalty. The key here, just throw that straight mid-range or putter or a forehand driver. Just try to keep the speed controlled perfectly, because there are some skips to be had here. You just got to slow it down at the right spot. Paul is going with a McPro. He wants it down.
Yeah, I think he knew that he had too much height on that one, and Good line, just the pace was just a bit off.
And James with a super early release here.
We've seen him throw a couple of incredibly errant putter shots in the last 2 rounds, and it's just so uncharacteristic. I'm not used to seeing that from him. And we all make mistakes, but that's not a mistake that we see from James very often. Low line, Sexton Firebird, a little bit of Anheuser, soft skip. That's just taking candy from a baby right there. Beautiful shot.
I've been to enough pediatricians lately to know babies shouldn't have candy anyway, so I'll be taking that.
And Paul with a nice shot there with his M2, I believe. James from about 50. That was just too high.
Good effort. Paul coming up for his par save. Also a little high.
That is going to be the second drop shot of the tournament for Paul. It was at that point where you're nice putt from Ulibarri. It's kind of get to that point where he's up 9.
Yeah.
Like, does that promote you playing better? Do you all of a sudden just run away, or do you start getting comfortable? And we're halfway through the event.
Yep.
How do you treat a 9-stroke lead at a major championship?
I think I think you totally ignore it. I think it can make you confident. You just keep attacking, and that you don't have to play with that same kind of like you're so tense because the lead is in the balance. You just go out there and play your best shots, and you kind of get this feeling of just like, all right, guys, like come along for the ride if you can.
Well, that's a great strategy, but how do you do it?
It's easier said than done. But I don't expect Paul is caring about how many strokes up or down he is at this point. He's just trying to execute.
Right.
Hole 4, par 4, 444 feet. You got this low ceiling tunnel drive. You want to get as far straight as possible, really. It is possible to go too far, but you want to get pretty far out near this tree that's in the sun, maybe even a little past it, so that you have a good angle to clear this mandatory tree. You must pass to the left of the mandatory, and then the green is in this little cove. Really, really hard to access from anywhere that isn't just the ideal spot. This is such a specific landing zone that's required to make birdie here.
Yeah, the shot that we saw from Josh Anton yesterday with the flick rollers was a one in.
If you didn't watch it, watch it. Incredible shot.
Yeah, approach shot of the year. Maybe Eagles skip-in shot at GBO, and then Josh's flick roller just for the technicality of the shot. It was just amazing.
And this is my flippiest XCal, and this is like the best drive I've ever had on this hole.
I don't think I've ever seen one that good. The angle to the pin from there, it's remarkable. What a shot. And Paul going with his broken F7. He swears it's not broken, but I think it's too flippy to not be considered broken.
We didn't know how. I thought something weird had happened to see him that short. It didn't seem like that's where it should have been.
No, it was a great looking line. A little bit tight. I don't know if it would have been too tight to the mandatory tree, but it looked like it was going to be a pretty good shot.
And Paul just crushes a forehand. I thought this was perfect from the tee, but he's actually gone too far.
Now, there's a couple of holes if you go about another 10 feet, but where he is right there is going to be a really tricky spot to access the green.
James with a destroyer.
Okay. Well, the holes increase on that backside. You do have to have a flick, so it really just depends on how comfortable James is with this shot here. But
he might be lining up roller.
Okay, yeah.
It got like 80 feet.
Okay.
He should be okay, but it didn't get anything special.
Paul trying to access a little bit of Anton magic.
And he kind of did.
Wow.
It was a great shot. He cut it around there tight.
Yeah.
Catches the trees.
He'll have some bushes behind him, but he has an open look at the pin.
Paul right to about 40 feet.
We still haven't even got to your...
Well,
drive.
James is like past me, but he's a lot farther from the basket.
Okay.
So we had him go first because mine's pretty close.
Wow. You don't practice this shot. You don't practice from this close because you never get this close.
But luckily, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it is kinda. You made it look really easy, but like we were talking about yesterday, when you're that close with, Paul had a great drive yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you throw a driver soft enough to not go too long, but that with enough angle and power to still get the skip that you need?
Oh, just low. The big part of it for me is just that I'm in that spot. I'm so far past the Mando tree that it doesn't. The skip is like less necessary.
Yeah, you're almost throwing a straight shot.
Just kind of a regular shot, which was a nice luxury.
James to save par from just outside the circle. And that putt to
bullet.
To avoid back-to-back bogeys. Maybe just a little bit uncomfortable. Paul's been so good inside the circle this part of the season, this last half.
Walking to the next hole, he said, "I've never been that good at putting with a stick poking me in the butt." I said, "I don't know who is good at it."
No, not many people. Those tie-dyes with vinyls are pretty cool.
Yeah, I
those are cool Halloween discs.
Hole 5, par 5, 1,083 feet. Big water carry off the tee, find the middle of the fairway. Then you get your chance to bite off as much distance as you're comfortable with. Big hyzer, straight shot, forehand, all in play. Ideally, you want to get up into this kind of area where the drone is over top of now. Then you've got the Mando pole, got to stay left, cross the water again. Really, the second water carry is much bigger than the first. And you're trying to just get anywhere near this basket. Playing on the right side, obviously, preferable.
Well, I mean, there's nothing you can really say about this hole that hasn't already been said. It's one of the best holes in the history of the sport.
I'm going with XCal here. This is a little bit safer than I prefer, but that's better than the alternative.
I'll say, personally. Jeez. Don't watch the chase card coverage. I just did bad things. Paul with a really good thing here.
Nice shot.
Really nice shot, exactly. To that perfect landing zone.
P. McBeth going destroyer. And this kind of flipped up on him. He's going to scare the crowd a little bit here.
Okay. And that's going to be an awkward lie for the second. Maybe going turnover here.
That's the aggressive way to do it. Keeping it tight, trusting that turnover. Nets him another 60 feet past where Uli is with the pure hyzer. I'm going destroyer.
You're a little bit nervous about the ceiling there, I see.
I thought I threw it too wide and it might catch the tops of those trees. Fortunately, I was just high enough.
It's going to be hard to get the distance with the kneeling standstill sidearm to be at a spot where you want to attack on your third shot. So we'll see if Paul got enough distance there to feel comfortable.
And Uli goes with a straight shot. Really well done there. A lot of distance. He's on the right side, but he's so far up the fairway.
Yeah, that's so aggressive to go with the driver there and just have it fade and down the middle the whole way and never get close to the water's edge. That's a great shot from Paul.
And James does a pretty good impersonation of the shot. Very similar looking play.
Both players just staying as far away from the water as they can while still giving themselves enough distance to get to the basket.
Paul is going for this from 400 feet.
Oh, this is looking really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
That might have been 425. I don't know. That was so far back, and he put it 6 inches away.
Definitely does not deserve a follow flight. That's a surprise there. I thought that would definitely be getting the replay. And nice shot inside the circle. Safe, but still putting. Typical Sexton play.
There you go.
And James, of course, going with mid-range across, as he and few others do.
In the circle as well.
Paul going with a F5, I believe. Somebody can put high and trust the turn, and has a really nice slow turn. And a fantastic shot. Wow, 4 wonderful approaches. All 4 players inside the circle.
Little high.
And James connects on the birdie.
Yeah, I had to apologize to these guys because it would have been a special star frame.
No, without a doubt.
It was really, I dropped the ball.
I mean, you're assuming that Paul's going to make that putt.
Well, I was there yesterday, so I have some advanced knowledge.
Okay, he does make it. Wow, impressive.
Hole 6, par 3, 371. This one's got all kinds of out of bounds. On the left side in the water, on the right side with the ropes, and all OBs proceed to a 45-foot drop zone death putt. So you really want to be careful with this one. They call it the beach for good reason. You try to get down there on the sand, and usually that will slow down the disc. So it's kind of a nice saving spot where you can bring a driver in and kind of trust that it should hold in that sand.
Paul with his Lavender X1 does not get enough distance. Was so close. It's going to leave him that 45-foot death putt. And Paul, I believe this is a Thunderbird.
It might even be one of his signature T-Bird 3s. It looked metal,
okay.
metal flake.
Fantastic shot. So simple.
This is maybe also a T-Bird.
So hard, but so simple the way these guys are throwing these straight shots here, and this is looking really good as well. You get that straight skip right inside the bullseye.
See that one more time.
That would have saved me 6 strokes. That shot. That is not a typo. If you checked UDisc Live, I did take an 8 on this hole yesterday. We won't talk about it. Just watch the chase card coverage if you're that interested, okay? I don't want to talk about it anymore. Stop bringing it up.
You should have thrown a big germ Thunderbird like me.
I did.
I said like me.
Oh, like the way you threw it. Okay, so the big germ Thunderbird skipping, and then that's how you do it. Okay, lesson learned. I'll try to do better in the future.
Here is that drop zone putt. Such a scary place to go for it. You see Uli go with kind of a half-hearted effort.
So that's how you miss it and stay in bounds. All right. Noted. Paul with the tap in. Nate with the tap in. James with the tap in. I don't know if you felt the same way, but I feel like the sand was a little bit quicksandier than it has been in the past. Like it just wasn't quite as...
More fluffy.
It's a little bit fluffier sand, yeah. Like I don't know if it just was like less distributed across evenly.
Every year the championship gets better, man. They fluff the sand. They just put a couple more bells, couple more whistles every year.
I mean, the sand stays here throughout the year, but they always bring new sand for the event.
And they must have spent the extra cash for the fluffy stuff.
Their sand supplier definitely changed.
Yeah. Hole 7, par 3, 284, triple mandatory. You have got to go through the gate in the bamboo, or else you're one of 2 drop spots. It's your choice, but you're almost certainly getting a 4. Popular play would be mid-range or putter straight at it, or some players also go with a forehand driver.
Oh, just a little bit too much turn. Looked good, 95% of that until it got to the bamboo. And that's the putter shot that we're used to seeing James throw.
Perfect.
This is a bit wide right. Needs to catch the bamboo.
That was a bad miss.
And you missed the
mandatory.
That's going to bring you back to that drop zone.
After 6 straight drives in circle 1, or 6 straight circle 1s in regulation, and then I do that.
And Paul, too, double bamboozle.
Yeah. But I can tell you, my bogey stung a little less than Paul's, because after I threw this shot, I walked up to the mandatory, found $20 on the ground.
Okay.
Most money I've ever found.
Wow. That's incredible. That's, congratulations.
Yeah, man. It takes a little of this thing out of it.
I heard that McBeth found $10 on the ground.
He did, the day before.
What is just money just...
There's $20 about 10 feet ahead of Paul. He doesn't know it yet, because I'm about to come swoop it. And he misses that putt.
If you lost $20 yesterday, you know who found it.
But I already spent it, so...
James connects on his birdie. If you're not at Winthrop, you're losing money. If you're not out here at least spectating,
there's a lot of cash to be found.
There's
out here.
at least $30.
Bogey for Paul. Par for P. McBee.
And Paul's off to that slow start. Paul Ulibarri, that is, even through 7 holes. This is a stretch where you'd like to be 4 down through 7. And it's just that the start isn't that intimidating. Hole 5 can get you. But other than that, there's a lot of birdie holes to start the roundup.
Definitely. Hole 8, not really one of them. This is a tough birdie. If you really got to earn this one. 697. OB on that left side the whole way, but then it kind of bubbles out here where these red stakes are, right in that perfect landing zone to make the players a little more nervous. Backhand hyzer, backhand straight shot, or big forehand are available. And then on the second shot, it's really got to be either a forehand or a backhand roller because the pin is so far to the right, tucked up this hill. Here's James, I think, with that Thunderbird.
Yeah, that's a great drive there. It's going to put him in that roller range. James doing the best job he can to prove that this is not the U.S. Sidearm Championships. Although the last 2 champions would have to say that they disagree with that statement.
Well, we do it our way, but there's been a lot of backhand dominant winners out here.
And this is heading straight out of bounds. Paul did not like where he was the first 2, I believe, and tried to make a correction and overcorrected, and he's going to find himself in a tough spot to save par. Very nicely done. That's in the ideal landing zone.
And Yuli up last. Going with that straight shot. A little bit much on the flip maybe, but no disaster there.
Well, he has that broken F7, so I don't really think he cares where he lands. He can throw a good roller second shot no matter where.
I'm going with the overstable X-Cal on the second, looking for a huge skip.
Just got to get past that mulch. Man, what a big jump that was. Great shot to avoid those 2 guardian huge trees there at the corner.
James with the roller. A little bit too much cut, I think.
Yeah, just not enough turn.
But doesn't jump over the fence, so long putt.
Mm-hmm. He has to throw that thing with hyzer.
That's crazy.
Oh, man. And without that fence there, that has plenty of turn left on it still. That could have been well inside the circle. Yeah. The air shot seems almost impossible to reach the pin. You have to rely on the skip, and that was just too direct at the pin.
Yuli with the layup. Easy par. James uphill 60-footer. Ooh, just off the top.
Paul's going to drop his second shot this round. And a really nice birdie. Would definitely classify hole 8 as a bonus birdie for all players.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what your strengths are, this is one that's really difficult to get. Speaking of difficult, for a tall guy like James, I'm speaking personally, these kind of little short putts are so awkward.
The downhill.
Yeah, I mean, your stroke is completely different, and you just, I don't know. You feel like going to a knee on those sometimes, even though you're only, 12 to 13, 15 feet away, and you're like, I don't need to do anything crazy. I'm just 12 feet away. Just put it in. But those things they're tricky.
Yeah. Hole 9, par 4, 685 feet with the triple island. You have your choice. Go short to this first island we're calling the lima bean. Go long to the kidney bean, and then the green we're calling the peanut. This one is tough. I think these players will probably go to the kidney mostly. Most players that are contending, I think, and a few do play that game plan though and just say, you know what, I'm not going to go for this hole. I'm just going to play it for a 4 and just forget about any kind of drama.
Someone actually suggested we call this the jelly bean. Just keep the lima, kidney bean, and jelly bean.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, the peanut sounds good too.
Let's go. It's a jelly bean.
All right. Going up the gut with that flippy Excalibur.
This was so short, but it's in.
Oh, wow. It looked pretty good at first, but then just kind of
I was scared, but
lost steam.
I was very happy to see a green flag there. I think this is a sidewinder.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. And James is definitely bagging a Glow Champion Sidewinder, so that would make sense.
Uli goes to the lima bean, gonna play for that 4. There's really no way to skip the kidney bean. You got to make a stop at the kidney bean, no matter what your game plan is.
And this is high, but probably has enough steam to get around the corner to the safe spot. Oh yeah, great shot.
So now Uli will go to the biggest part of this second island, beyond where all of the other players' drives are. That's well done. Going with the Firebird.
That's a lot of distance to cut off with the Firebird, but yeah, you've done well there. Probably had 345,
Something like that.
350 to the pin. And Paul with that T-Bird 3 skipping up inside the bullseye, man. Living life right. And James is 330 feet, so of course he's going with the putter.
Naturally.
As most people don't. And all 4 players, oh, wait a second.
Kidney to jelly.
Oh, and now all 4
Success.
players are in the jelly bean.
Good birdie putt from James.
And a slower start, but James is at 400 now. Yeah, James was even through 4 and has rattled off 4 of the last 5 holes.
Paul for a par here after the conservative strategy. And McBeth will have a simple tap out for birdie. Perfect second shot.
He keeps that lead. It's 7 strokes.
There you have it. Everyone with at least one bogey. No one perfectly clean through there. But we had a lot of birdies as well. Please come on back and check out the back nine. It's going to get crazy because some of the longest and toughest holes are still to come.